Hotels.com. Best prices, best places, guaranteed.
It's Kerry versus Bush. Tonight, day one of a two-man, 8-month marathon battle for the White House. With whom will Kerry run? Turmoil in the land of Disney. Why the big cheese in the house of the mouse is under fire. Wheels still falling off a popular brand of SUV. What's going on? Eye on America investigates. And it could prevent millions of cases of foodborne illness. And chances are you have it in your medicine chest.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The presidential campaign, Bush versus Kerry, is underway. Both men came out slugging today. The president in California, Senator Kerry in Florida. Kerry clinched the Democratic nomination when Senator John Edwards dropped out after losing every Super Tuesday contest. Kerry is already thinking about a running mate who can help him win key battleground states in November. CBS's Byron Pitts is covering the Kerry campaign.
Today, John Kerry entered a whole new game. Aides tell CBS News sooner rather than later, the now presumed nominee will likely roll the political dice and choose a running mate. Advisors believe two candidates will be stronger than one in what promises to be an unforgiving and rugged 8-month marathon to November 2nd. Possible contenders on a Kerry ticket.
All my life, America has smiled at me, and today I am smiling right back.
The man who bowed out today as the last real challenger for the Democratic nomination.
John Kerry has what it takes right here to be President of the United States, and I, for one, intend to do everything in my power to make him the next President of the United States.
North Carolina Senator John Edwards, attractive to independents and conservative Democrats. He's a Southerner, which most Democrats see as a must-win region in order to reclaim the White House.
No more lost votes in Florida.
There's Florida Senator Bob Graham, who endorsed Kerry today. An easy fit in any Southern strategy. He could deliver the state Democrats bitterly lost in 2000. Another favorite in a different region Democrats need to do well in, the Midwest. Missouri Congressman Dick Gephardt. One name that's sure to be mentioned and debated, New York Senator Hillary Clinton.
Let's just say that I'm going to do whatever Senator Kerry wants me to do.
George Bush is doing, incidentally. Right here. This is it.
Meantime, aides say Kerry will keep his focus on President Bush and begin to raise money aggressively. He picked up more than $1 million over the internet overnight since his big Super Tuesday victory. That still leaves him way behind President Bush's $100 million war chest. For John Kerry, it's no longer about collecting delegates, but rather finding new donors. As one of his advisors put it today, we'd like to raise as much money as possible without turning Kerry into a full-time fundraiser. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Washington.
You may want to note that besides those mentioned by Byron in his report, others talked about as potential Kerry running mates include New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, former Georgia Senator Sam Nunn, former Nebraska Governor and Senator Bob Kerry, California Senator Dianne Feinstein, former Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin of New York, Senator Evan Bayh of Indiana, Arizona Governor Janet Napolitano, and for those who favor wild cards, Secretary of State Colin Powell. Powell, of course, is a Republican. President Bush headed west today to raise more money. He's also spending a lot with an opening blitz of new re-election campaign ads. CBS's John Roberts has more on the president's strategy.
One day after the Democratic primary, President Bush went mining for campaign gold in California, hosting his 50th fundraiser. But courting his religious base, Mr. Bush steered away from the mantle of candidate.
We're talking about healing our nation. We're not talking politics.
The proclamation aside, the president is out to buff up an image tarnished by weeks of Democratic attacks. He's dipped early into his $100 million war chest to launch ads tomorrow in 17 states, including 9 that went to Al Gore 4 years ago.
I'm optimistic about America because I believe in the people of America.
The first round will be all about the president's optimistic vision for America and his self-described steady leadership in times of change.
Some challenges we've seen before, and some were like no others.
But coming soon, an extensive campaign to paint an unfavorable portrait of John Kerry before he has a chance to define himself.
For about a year, 9 Democrats have been out on the trail beating up on President Bush, attacking him. There's been something in the neighborhood of $30 million worth of ads run by them criticizing the president. So now it's our turn.
President Bush is preparing for a tough fight against a challenger he sees as articulate, hard-charging, and vulnerable on what officials describe as a voting record that's all over the lot. But in many swing states critical to his second term, Mr. Bush is battling problems he created himself. An electorate deeply polarized by his policies and a Democratic Party invigorated as rarely before.
We're energized. We're going to beat George Bush because George Bush has been wrong for America.
President Bush wants to wait until the summer before going full bore with his campaign, but the ferocity of the Democrats' Dump Bush movement has already forced him to come out early with ads. If they adopt a strategy to keep up the pressure, it could make the brutal 2000 campaign seem like so many fond memories. Dan?
John Roberts reporting live with the Bush campaign in Los Angeles. With jobs and the economy right now the #1 issue this election year, the Federal Reserve reported today that the economy was continuing to expand the first 2 months of this year. But job growth, the Fed said, was slow. Stock prices bounced around today, then finished the day about where they began. In Iraq today, the health minister said at least 169 Iraqis were killed in yesterday's wave of terror bombings, with the number likely to rise. Virtually all the victims were Shiite Muslims, and Shiite anger today was aimed mostly at American troops and officials. CBS's Kimberly Dozier in Baghdad has more on that and the possibility of civil war.
Today, the dead were buried after the bloodiest day in Iraq since the end of the war. The victims are still being counted after a volley of bombs hit Shiite mosques yesterday in Baghdad and Karbala. The attacks have so far failed to turn Iraqis against each other, but they have sparked more fury against the Americans for failing to prevent them. Both Iraqis and U.S. officials believe the bombings were masterminded by suspected al-Qaeda operative Abu Musab Zarqawi in an attempt to bring about civil war here. U.S. officials say they will now strengthen border controls to keep potential bombers out. Iraq's Shiite Muslim authorities say the Americans should have been doing that already. This would not have happened if they'd done their job, says Sheikh Rahim Mashkour at one of Baghdad's largest Shiite mosques.
They are very angry. They are angry. That's why we ask them to stay home. And maybe that's why we'll ask them to stay home tomorrow.
Governing council members are rushing out a plan that would make Iraqis equal partners with Americans in training local forces to hunt down the guilty. Shiite leaders say they're keeping a lid on their followers and militias for now. But they warn that could change if there's more of this. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, Baghdad.
About 1,000 U.S. Marines are now in Haiti, beginning to expand their role from protecting U.S. interests to helping bring order to the chaotic capital. Port-au-Prince is swarming with rebel fighters, drug gangs, and loyalists to the ousted President Aristide. There were gun battles in the streets again today, and hungry Haitians swarmed relief workers handing out food. But one rebel leader promised today to disarm his troops, as U.S. officials demand. In this country, members of Congress, led by Republicans who like it as a campaign issue, the Congress today considered proposals to amend the U.S. Constitution to ban gay marriages. As the Congress debated the possible language, CBS's John Blackstone reports more gays and lesbians around the country lined up to exchange vows.
There was chaos and celebration as gay couples lined up to get marriage licenses in Portland, Oregon today.
Incredible, but not as good as when we're going to get married.
The weddings began almost immediately, the latest in a string of controversial ceremonies that, for opponents of gay marriage, show the urgent need for a constitutional amendment.
The wildfire will begin. In many ways, it already has begun. Same-sex marriage is likely to spread to all 50 states in the coming years.
At a congressional hearing, defenders of traditional marriage said it's not discrimination to keep marriage as it's always been.
Marriage is about children, not about love. Common sense tells us that children are raised best by their biological mother and father.
The growing legal battle over gay marriage may come down to a fight over states' rights and interpretations of 50 different state constitutions. In Portland, county commissioners declared that Oregon's constitution forbids discrimination against gays.
State law may be ambiguous, But the Constitution of the state is crystal clear in this matter.
In New York, Attorney General Eliot Spitzer said today that state law there forbids gay marriage.
However, the opinion does not resolve these constitutional issues and cannot. That will be left up to the New York state courts.
The gay marriages that continued in San Francisco today are the subject of arguments before the California Supreme Court. The governor says whatever the law is on gay marriage, it must be observed.
No, I have no problem. And let the court decide, let the people decide.
But right now, the people seem badly divided over whether gay marriage is a civil right or a threat to civil society. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, if these two faces resemble each other, it's no accident. Why revenge, Hollywood style, is a dish sometimes served green. That's tonight's Inside Story. And then later, two young mothers, two wheel failures on Dodge Durangos. Why does this keep happening? Eye on America deepens its investigation.
Are you one of the millions who feel twisted and bloated and constipated? Is your body telling you something's wrong, but you're not sure why? If you have recurring abdominal pain or discomfort, bloating and constipation, see your doctor. You may have a medical condition called IBS with constipation. And now there's a medicine for women that works at the source of the problem. Prescription Zelnorm. Only Zelnorm's proven to relieve the symptoms of IBS with constipation. Unlike laxatives and fiber, only Zelnorm helps coordinate the nerves, muscles, and fluid in your GI tract, so it starts functioning more normally, and you can start feeling better. Zelnorm is only indicated for women, but it doesn't work in all women. You should not take Zelnorm if you have a history of diarrhea, kidney, liver, or gallbladder disease, intestinal blockage, or adhesions. Tell your doctor if you get diarrhea or cramping, worsening of abdominal pain, dizziness, or headache. Ask your doctor about getting relief with Zelnorm. Zelnorm, be yourself again.
Announcing the Lincoln Mercury Think Big sales event with just announced savings on every Lincoln and Mercury, including the award-winning Mercury Grand Marquis. With 5-star safety and no charge leather seating, a $995 value. Add it all up, and Grand Marquis offers a total value of $4,495. During the Think Big sales event, see your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
If you want to get a jump on the day, you better get started the night before. Tylenol PM stops your pain and eases you into a restful night's sleep, so you wake up refreshed. Safe, non-habit-forming Tylenol PM.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax's rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax, making wood beautiful for 100 years.
Action! Remember, when you hit the water, I need you to hydroplane out of control. Water! Remember, out of control. Cut! No, cut! Cut. Okay, fire the stunt driver.
The Michelin Hydro Edge with our special hydro chutes. It's our best performing tire in its class. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
One of the men allegedly behind the biggest accounting fraud in U.S. history surrendered today and was arraigned in federal court. Bernard Ebbers, former CEO of WorldCom, pleaded not guilty to deceiving investors to the tune of $11 billion. The accused Ebbers, who could get 25 years in prison if convicted, was released on $10 million bail. These are not happy times in the Magic Kingdom, otherwise known as the Walt Disney Company. Months of turmoil came to a head today at a shareholders meeting. CBS's Jerry Bowen has the inside story of the kingdom and the power.
California's Disneyland may be the happiest place on earth, but 3,000 miles away in Philadelphia, company shareholders weren't feeling the love.
It was great while it lasted. It's time to smile, bow, and for him to back away.
After 20 years at the helm, Disney chief Michael Eisner,
I love this company,
was facing a mutiny. Even with rising share prices and record movie revenues, critics want him to walk the corporate plank. From big pension fund managers holding millions of shares of Disney stock.
With Michael Eisner's leadership as the imperial leader of Disney, a lot of the magic in the Magic Kingdom is now gone.
to his one-time friend Roy Disney, Walt's nephew, who Eisner forced off the board of directors.
We run the Disney business down to a place where it should never have gotten.
Eisner is blamed for Disney's once proud animation division's failure to produce more hits for personnel decisions that proved embarrassing and expensive. His severance package for Michael Ovitz, the president he hired and fired in just over a year, was an estimated $140 million. Disney exec Jeffrey Katzenberg, whom Eisner called a little midget, got a $250 million settlement and revenge when he formed DreamWorks. The animated monster Shrek is said to be modeled on Eisner's face.
You have a guy who doesn't listen a lot to other people's points of view, doesn't have respect for a lot of people in this world.
A guy in trouble. Ratings are way off for Disney-owned ABC. Hugely successful Pixar animation ended its partnership. Disney parks are accused of declining quality. Comcast has launched a hostile takeover. And today, shareholders voted.
Dramatic change is needed now, and that Michael Eisner must go.
Eisner ran unopposed, so he'll stay for now as both Disney chairman and CEO. But the shareholder revolt served notice that life at the happiest place on earth has turned really grumpy. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Burbank.
Straight ahead on the CBS Evening News, more problems with a popular SUV. Why their front wheels keep falling off and what is and is not being done about it. An Eye on America investigation next.
I used to be laid back about everything. Nothing was too serious for me, especially my heartburn. Sure, most days it felt like I'd swallowed a blowtorch. It wasn't serious. So what if I practically had to sleep standing up like a horse? It wasn't serious. Fine, yes, I changed my diet, I started exercising more. It helped a bit. But then one day as I was chasing my breakfast with cherry-flavored antacids, it hit me. Maybe my heartburn is serious. So I go to my doctor and she tells me I have acid reflux disease. Acid reflux disease! But then she prescribed Prevacid because it helps prevent the acid and heal the damage. So I keep doing all the right things. Take one Prevacid once a day and I can be my laid-back self. Seriously.
Prescription Prevacid actually helps prevent acid where it starts by turning off many of the pumps that produce it. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. Ask your doctor for more information and if Prevacid is right for you. Help prevent the acid with Prevacid.
These guys, like family. So when I learned 1 in 3 men faces prostate problems,
you had to switch to One-A-Day Men's.
One-A-Day Men's Health Formula, a complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies have linked to prostate health.
Gotta watch out for my guys.
One-A-Day Men's.
These days, I welcome the morning rush.
Could Procrit be right for you? Talk to your doctor about Procrit or call 1-800-PROCRIT.
Okay, I open the Thermacare box and I think, wow, what is this? And while I'm wondering what a heat wrap does, I realize, whoa, it gets hot. Then I put it on my aching back and it really starts to sink in. The heat, I mean. It's like a heating pad without the cord. It goes anywhere. And before long, my aching back is not aching anymore. I feel like I could do backflips. Bad idea.
Tonight at 6, Nashville's famous trusted him completely.
I control their money.
And for years, he earned that trust.
And I knew that was a mistake.
Then one risky investment cost him everything.
It just never worked.
And he suddenly disappeared.
Do you remember the moment you actually walked out?
News Channel 5's Phil Williams lands another exclusive interview.
My life as I knew it was coming to an end.
Larry Cherry, The Untold Story. Tonight on News Channel 5 at 6.
Predators caught on tape. Men who thought they were meeting an underage teen.
It's worse than we realize. It's worse than parents realize. It's worse than law enforcement realizes.
Tomorrow, how the elaborate sting worked and a surprising look at who got caught. Eye on America on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
France said today a shadowy extortion group is threatening to blow up French train lines unless it is paid $5 million. Workers for the French National Railway are inspecting 20,000 miles of track for bombs the group says it buried. Police say they found one bomb under tracks in central France after the group told them where to look. We have a follow-up now to CBS's Eye on America investigation of widely reported and potentially dangerous suspension failures on Dodge Durango SUVs. After CBS's Mika Brzezinski broke this story last fall, she heard from many more owners of the Durango and the related Dodge Dakota pickup. Here's more of CBS's ongoing investigation.
This is exactly where it happened.
First, it happened to Tina Check, a mother of two from Massachusetts.
It actually felt like my front fender had fallen off.
48 hours later, it happened to Kate McGeehan Sawyer, a pregnant mother of three from Maine.
I was trying to steer, lost control of the car. I thought the car was going to roll over, and I thought that was the end.
Both women were driving their 2000 Dodge Durangos.
The entire wheel fell off.
The wheel just flew out.
For months, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, has been investigating whether premature wear on Dodge Durango and Dakota upper ball joints have been the cause of numerous accidents. They've received 749 Durango complaints, compared with just 14 for the Chevy Blazer and 12 for the Ford Explorer.
The tire was bouncing across 4 lanes of the road.
Since our first investigation aired last October, viewers have shared hundreds of stories about upper ball joint problems on their Dodge Durangos and Dakotas, along with pictures of collapsed wheels and rusty, misshapen ball joints.
It looks like this deteriorated to the point where it got small enough so it popped out of the socket.
We showed Tina Check's upper ball joint to the mechanic who was fixing Kate McGeehan Sawyer's Durango.
This is Tina's ball joint. That's Kate's ball joint.
And just like their accidents, he says their ball joints are a perfect match. Worn, rusted, and broken apart.
Does it look like a defect to you?
Yes.
I think it's outrageous the Department of Transportation and Chrysler have taken so long to deal with this.
Former NHTSA Administrator Joan Claybrook suspects Daimler Chrysler is more concerned about protecting the bottom line.
Their view is, in a cost-benefit ratio, that it's cheaper to let these circumstances happen, a few people get killed, and they don't have to pay for all the replacement parts.
Tina wanted her broken parts to be analyzed as part of the government investigation. The company charged her $800. CBS footed the bill and sent them to Washington.
I could have lost one of my kids that day. I could have lost one of my kids, the most precious things in the world. How can they let this happen?
Daimler Chrysler says it's actively working with NHTSA, is unaware of any injuries, and only a small percentage of its customers report upper ball joint separation. The company directs any drivers who experience unusual front-end noises or clunking to contact their local dealership, and has previously stated those noises provide sufficient warning.
There were no warnings whatsoever.
There was no warning.
And before this story repeats itself again, Kate and Tina just want the company to take action quickly.
Recall them, and fix them right.
In Dartmouth, Massachusetts, I'm Mika Brzezinski for Eye on America.
Still to come on the CBS Evening News, chickens and mouthwash in the same story. What's the connection? We'll tell you in a moment.
We vacationed here every year. One day, Brian, he made this giant sand castle and said, "This is where we belong." We opened the sandbar 3 months later. After Brian died, I think some people thought that I should probably close down and move back to the real world. But this is our place.
Insurance from Mutual of Omaha.
This is where I belong.
Help keep dreams alive. Begin today.
Night. It's when most of the world sleeps. A time to reset our clock so we can begin a new day. It's all part of the rhythm of life. But for many, this healthy cycle is disrupted because sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. All people taking sleep medicines have some risk of becoming dependent on the medicine. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. In most instances, memory problems can be avoided if you take Ambien only when you're able to get 7 to 8 hours sleep before you need to be active again. Talk to your doctor about Ambien and wake rested and ready to start your day. Ambien works like a dream.
There's an easier way to get a 6-month supply of clean, great-tasting water. Pure water filters, bottled water quality, right from your faucet. pure water filters, your water should be pure.
Women over 50 are at a greater risk for a heart attack. Because of age and other risk factors, doctors often recommend Bayer. Aspirin has been proven to reduce the risk of a heart attack. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. Trust your heart to Bayer.
This is Alan. He has cancer. This is Sarah. They've been together 46 years.
Way to go, sweetheart. Now go get it.
This is the number they called when he was diagnosed, so they could get answers to their questions,
Kiss that ball.
so they could get through this together. This is the American Cancer Society. This is who to call for help.
I love you.
A News Channel 5 exclusive, 2 school killers talk about why they did it and how to prevent it from happening again. Details at 6.
With an epidemic of obesity in America and fast food restaurants under pressure to cut the fat, McDonald's says it is now phasing out its famous, some might say notorious, supersized servings of French fries and soft drinks. Those fries alone contain 610 calories, 77 grams of carbs, and 29 grams of fat. The FDA has just approved a whole new concept in food safety, one that may prevent millions of food poisoning cases a year. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon reports it's a simple idea. It just took a long time to hatch.
For years, chicken farmers have been looking for a way to keep their product as germ-free as possible, and it appears they've finally stumbled upon something worth crowing about.
It is a phenomenal advance because the product is so safe, so easily used, and so incredibly effective.
The product, called Secure, has just received FDA approval. Sprayed on chicken before packaging, it's known to instantly wipe out the major culprits in most foodborne illness, such as Salmonella and E. coli, bugs that make about 80 million Americans sick every year. So what is this mystery substance found to be so powerful against germs that have made people ill for centuries? Turns out it's nothing new and is probably something you have sitting in your own medicine cabinet: mouthwash. That's right. The main ingredient in most mouthwashes and throat lozenges just happens to be a lethal enough killer to give you fresh breath and protect the nation's poultry supply at the same time.
The ingredient in Secure has been consumed in popular over-the-counter oral hygiene products for 55 years.
Researchers made the discovery by testing hundreds of compounds known to be safe in humans.
This one had already been used in humans and had a long track record in humans, and so we felt that this is the one we should focus on.
The hope is Secure will soon be approved for use in beef, seafood, and pork as well, ultimately making the nation's food supply much safer. This simple solution to a serious health threat could truly be considered a breath of fresh air. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world. I'll be back later this evening with 60 Minutes, too. He dresses some of the biggest stars.
So cute, right?
Now, Isaac Mizrahi is in a store near you. Plus, what can a teenager do to become a sports star? He took steroids. Then he took his life. We invite you to join us for 60 Minutes 2 tonight at 8, 7 Central, and at the usual time tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. See you soon on 60 Minutes 2.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart, saving you and your family time and money with everyday low prices. Internet predators caught on tape, and Eye on America has it all tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, a wreck claims 3 young lives. Coming up, why residents are afraid it could happen again.
And a passionate debate takes center stage at the state legislature. We'll tell you what caused lawmakers to get so emotional.
He didn't stay a free agent very long.
The freak is leaving the Titans. The news is now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Topping our news tonight, the tragic deaths of 3 Middle Tennessee teenagers.
They were killed in a head-on collision off of Highway 52 outside Portland. Tonight, the reality of this tragedy is settling on the tiny Sumner County town. News Channel 5's Scott Couch tells us about the victims and why some feared the same thing could happen again.
It's been quite a while since we've had 3 students from a single school in this type of situation.
3 teenagers with their whole lives in front of them killed in an instant. They collided head-on on a county road as day was turning to night.
Jernigan Road is a narrow, windy road off of Highway 52 just outside